Hi Flosstube, this is Nancy, Quilting Stitcher. I am also known as Quilting Stitcher on Instagram. If you would like to follow me there, my Instagram page is all about quilting and cross stitch, and that's it. My Facebook is more of personal life things, but Instagram is strictly my hobbies. Today is November 5th, 2019. This is Flosstube Reboot #1. And the reason why it is reboot is because I used to do Flosstube videos. I think I did them for about a year. In January of this year, I stopped doing them. And the reason I stopped doing them is because I felt overwhelmed. I had between work and life and family and my hobbies of quilting and cross stitch, I just felt like there was not enough time for everything in my life, and so I had to eliminate something, and doing Flosstube videos was my one thing I eliminated. But I had a major life change in June. Best thing I ever did. Some things ended up becoming possible that I was able to quit my job, and I've worked in retail for 15 years, and retail is very stressful. And the company that I worked for, um, they had made about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they started making changes, and the last 6 months was just very stressful. And I decided I had to give up something, and something happened in my life that made it possible that I could quit my job. So now I am a stay-at-home mom to my dog. And he loves it because he loves me being home all day. And so my days are filled with stitching and quilting and embroidery. My husband spoiled me, and I was able to buy a top of the line embroidery machine. Her name is Lucy, and so I will show you projects here and there that I am making on her. What else? So after I quit my job, I was toying with making videos again, and I thought, so I was gonna do them, and I thought, no, I'm not. And then I decided, and then because I was home, my children decided they needed babysitters for their kids, and while they worked, so I volunteered to babysit grandkids all summer. So pretty much 5 days a week, I had anywhere from 2 to 6 kids at my house. And so that's what I did all summer. So I thought, okay, I'll wait till they start school. They started school at the end of August, and I thought, okay, do I want to? And I still was just really on the fence about it. And I thought, you know what? If one person enjoys my videos, I'm going to do it. So I feel like I'm new to this again. I'm going to try to keep my videos kind of got long. When I did them before, were about an hour, and I feel like it's just me. I shouldn't talk for an hour. So I'm going to try to keep them to 30 to 45 minutes. And I'm going to talk mostly just about cross stitch and a few quilts that I have here and there, that I may be working on or have finished or just want to show you. So life things won't really be talked about. I just talked about life things, but kind of wanted to explain why I stopped doing videos and now why I'm starting. But unless it's something major or exciting, I'm not going to talk about a whole lot of life stuff. I just want to do cross stitch and quilting, and that's it. Okay, so I'm going to start. So today I'm going to do I have some fully finishes. I have a couple of finishes, and then I have my whips. And then I will kind of, as I'm talking about my whips, I kind of bring in my plans. As far as haul, I don't buy a whole lot anymore. One, because I'm not working anymore, so I have to limit what I buy, and two, because I just don't buy that much because I have so much to stitch as it is. So you'll see a random chart here and there, but not a whole lot. Okay, so let's start with my finishes. We'll wait on the fully finishes. So I don't have the charts to show you because they have been put away. These were just sitting right here on my ironing station waiting to be ironed. So the charts are put away. As some of my old subscribers, if you have not unsubscribed to me yet, I appreciate it. But I am stitching the shepherd's bush stockings for my family, for my kids, my grandkids, their spouses, my kids' spouses. And I think I have a total of 22 that I need to stitch. And I think there's 25 charts out, I think. They just come out with a new one. I have ordered it, but I haven't gotten it yet. So I plan on stitching all of them. I have been stitching them since January of 2018. I believe I have, but this one is a total of 14 done. Not sure. Right on 14 or 13 or 14, I think I have done. I try to do one a month. You know, you get in the middle of summer and you kind of get burnt out on stitching holiday stuff or Christmas. Anyway, I do. So there have been a couple of months in 2018 and a couple of months in 2019 I didn't stitch any. A couple of them have taken me a little bit longer than a month to do. I think they're very easy to do. This is, I don't even know the name of the chart, and I'm sorry if you want to know, ask me below and in the comments, and I will tell you the name of the chart. But this is my the last one I had done. This is my one I just finished, I guess. My last one I have finished. As you will notice, there is no name on it, and there are a few blank spots. The few blank spots will have, I buy the charm packs that go with them, so it will have beads and buttons and charms and all the goodies on it. I am not going to put that on until I finish the name. So what my plan is I'm going to stitch them all up, and then I'm going to let everybody choose the stocking they want. And then I'll go back and I will stitch the name, put the embellishments on, and then I will fully finish them. So this is kind of where they're at when I finish them, when I say they're finished, but not fully finished. There are some changes that I am making to every stocking. If you have been into shepherd's bush, or you have used the called for fabric, if you have stitched a shepherd's bush, they are huge. They're huge stockings. I am stitching mine on 14 count Aida. Vintage Country Mocha is what I'm using. And so I'm having to modify mine a little bit to make them bigger, because if I stitch them, they would be about, well, that would be as wide as it is. So I'm adding onto all the borders to make them bigger. And then they are not, and then I'm making them taller too. So when I make them longer this way, I am leaving enough space to put a name, and then I'm also adding a top border, as you can see. And so when I say I'm making them wider, this one I added an extra sheep in here, and I don't think I added a sheep. I just think I added the sheeps, the extra sheep. And then at the bottom, to make them longer, is I am leaving more space. He is supposed to be standing right on that border, and I think I left 2 or 3 spaces, and then I'm also leaving 2 or 3 extra spaces here and down here. So, and to make this one wider at the bottom, at the toe, I added this extra tree, a little bit more of the mountain, a motif, and on this side I added a sheep. So anyway, there you go. I believe this is number 14 because I've been doing boy, girl, and I really think this is 14 because I think the next one is, I think, a girl. I am actually not sure because I can't tell if it's a boy or a girl one. I guess I'll stitch it and then decide. Anyway, so that's a fully finished that I just finished. I was hoping to have it done October, the end of October. I finished it November 1st. So I was able to successfully get one pretty much done in the month of October. The next one I have finished. This one is called Anna Grader, and it's by Scarlet House. Yes, by the Scarlet House, I think. If you want to know who it's by, ask me, and I will ask me in the comments, and I will tell you. Anna Grader. I do know it's her name. It is called Anna Grader. And there you go. I did make some changes. I used a combination of the called for floss and DMC. The called for overdyed floss and then DMC. So I did make some changes on it. One of the changes that I made is right down here. I believe there were some motifs. I'm not sure what they were. Maybe birds. I'm not sure. I put my initials. And then right here, I think there was a couple of motifs, and I put the year that I stitched it. The other change I made is the fill-in for this was supposed to be the same kind of same color of overdyed as the strawberry. And I had stitched the words in black because that's what it called for. Or that was the DMC I chose to use. I think it called for an overdyed floss similar to black. And I stitched in the words, but then I started doing the fill-in the color of the strawberry, and you couldn't see the words. So I pulled it out, and I pulled out, I'm not sure the color of this, but it's the DMC equivalent to this one right here. It could be, oh, it's not 407. I don't know what it is. I would have to, I don't even know if I have it written down. So I'm not sure I can even tell you that. You will also know the other change is the name is not Anna Grader. I went ahead and charted out Nancy Euler Stone, 1863 to 1947. This is my great-great-grandmother and also the person that I am named after. So, and Euler was her maiden name, and Stone was her married name. And it's crazy because growing up and hearing stories of her, everybody called her Nancy Euler Stone. You know, they didn't call her Nancy Stone, Nancy Euler Stone, your great-great-grandmother. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm trying to find, I frame everything myself. I find thrift store frames and frame everything myself. So I'm going to frame this. This will go on my sampler wall. And I am going to, on the back, I'm going to have a little tidbit, just like 3 or 4 paragraphs of her, who she is or whatever. And I'm going to type that up and just stick it on the back of the frame. And then I also have her obituary that was in the original newspaper that it came out in 1947. I also have that, and I think I'm going to take that and put it in an envelope and put it on the back of the frame. And then that way, all the information about her is with her sampler. I love it. Love it, love it. This was a birthday start last year, 2018, and I think I finished this in the first part of October. So there we go. What do I have next? Let's do whips. Okay, so this is also plans, but it's going to be a whip. So what I try to do is I pick out a couple every month. I pick out a couple of my whips that I want to use as focal points for the month. One of them is usually a shepherd's bush stocking because I'm trying to get one done a month. I'm hoping to get 2 more done this year. So I pick out 2 or 3 focal stitches, or and put it into a rotation, and that's what I work on for the month because I'm trying to get some of my whips down, as many as I can before January, because I have some tentative plans for January. So I'm trying to get some of my whips down. That's how I finished my Anna grater, because it was one of my whips, and I used it in my rotation for October, and I got it done. Anyway, so this is plans, but it's also going to go into my rotation for November, and that is Birdie's Stocking by Shepherd's Bush. And I can't tell if this is for a boy or a girl, because it looks really girlish to me, but all the girls I've stitched so far have dresses on, and the boys do not. So I don't know if this is going to be for a girl or a boy, which stocking, if it's going to be for a girl or a boy. What I'm going to do is stitch it up, and if it looks like it's for a girl, then I'll put it in. I have them hanging right here. I'll put it on the hanger with the girls. If it's not, it'll be for a boy. So that's a plan. Will be in my rotation. I plan on starting this either this week, or it might be what I work on next week. The next thing that is in my rotation for the month of November is Hands-on Design Winter Wonderland Farm. And right now I am working on the big piece, and then I will also stitch the small one. I'm using all DMC on this, and I have the first 2 that came out, the Queen Bee Farm, and I can't remember the other one, the very first one that came out on this farm series. I have those 2 done. I started the autumn one and then realized I'm not going to get it done in time for autumn, so I decided to put it up, and I pulled out the winter one because I figured this was doable. And I think I started this the first part of October, and that's where I'm at. I'm stitching this on a piece of Ada that I Rit dyed to the gray. And anywhere that is a blank space on the chart so that the black will show through, I am using a dark gray, and I can't remember the gray that I'm using. If you want to know, I will tell you. So I'm filling in, like this'll be filled in. I still have another tire here. Snowman, I'll have pieces filled in. This one I have already filled in with the gray. Anyway, I'm just about done that I can move my Q-snip. So I am going to say I am pretty close to being halfway done. So this is one for my rotation for the month of November, because I want to have this done by the end of November so I can hang it up and display it all through winter, the entire winter. All the call for DMC except for this red, which I believe is $3.49 on DMC. Um, the symbol is for the scarf, but to me it's this the DMC is really pink. I'm not tearing this out because I'm just not. But anywhere that I think it needs to be red, I'll use the $3.49. But I love it. These are cute, and they're stitching up pretty fast. I feel like with everything I'm working on though, I'm working on white. Like everything I'm stitching is, it's because maybe it's because it's winter, but I'm stitching white. I need color, so I was so excited when I could start. I had all the white done, and I was excited when I could start filling in the color. And yesterday is actually, I got tons done because I filled in, I had a little bit of the truck done, and I finished filling in the truck, and I put all the color in the snowman, and I did this little fence here, and all the color in the snowman. So I was excited because it came alive for me. So there's that one. My next one that's going to be in rotation for December is this one. This is Prairie Schoolers December. And I am stitching the big one. And I am choosing to leave the outside border off. I'll stitch these snowflakes, but I'm going to leave the outside border. This, I have done 5 other ones. And I did the border, but when I go to finish them, it's really hard to get it straight because of that straight line on that border. So I'm trying it without it to see if it's easier to finish. And this is where I'm at. So I've got quite a bit done on it. I actually don't have a whole lot because this up here is all words, and then there's a fireplace motif at the top. And then I just have the snowflakes down here, and then just to fill in the rest of the snow, because I've got all of that snow filled in, so it's just really right here, and right here is where I have left to fill in the snow. So this is definitely doable to get done by the end of the month. I am stitching this on 14 count lamb's wool. Lamb's wool is the call for color to stitch these on, using all of the DMC that it calls for. Prairie Schoolers only call for DMC, and I'm using all of the DMC colors. I love Prairie Schoolers. They are definitely classics. Okay, so those are my rotation for the month of November. Also in November, I'm dropping stuff. I will be working on some ornaments. In January, I started the Plum Street Samplers Noah's Christmas ornaments, and I have been stitching one a month. I only stitch on these on Sundays, and in 4 Sundays I can get one done, and I don't stitch a whole lot on them on a Sunday. If I start on a Sunday and I'm getting a lot done, then I'll actually just put it up and start working on something else, because I really want it to last throughout the whole month, every Sunday, so I have 7 on Sundays to stitch. But I have this is my last 2 that I have to do. The rest of them are completely stitched. They're not fully finished, but they are completely stitched. So I am working on the deer. And actually, out of all of them, these 2 are my favorite. But, and I kind of have an idea of how I'm going to finish them. I was originally going to finish them like this, and then I changed my mind. So I have an idea of how I'm going to finish them. So I'm working on this one, and because I want them done by Christmas, or before, I want them fully finished before Christmas, once I get this one done, I'll just go ahead and start on this one, even though it won't be December when I start on it. I hope that makes all sense. That all makes sense. And this is where I'm at. I started this on Sunday. And like I said, this isn't the only thing. If I sit down and stitch, and if I only stitch a couple hours during the day on Sunday, this is what I stitch on. But if I have time to stitch on other stuff, then I do. But these are going to be cute. So my Sunday stitch. The next thing I have been working on is I decided, I saw somebody finish this, and I thought, oh, that's so cute. And I want to finish it just like she did. And I wish I could remember her name. I saw it on Facebook. I can't remember her name, but so I thought, I'm going to finish it just like her. And I found the Santa Claus that she used to finish it. And I thought, okay, this is going to be my Hallmark movie stitch. Not just watching my Hallmark Christmas movie stitch is what it is. But it's only when the new Hallmark movies come out, the new Hallmark Christmas movies come out. Because I'll put Hallmark on and leave it on all day and just watch them when I'm sewing or cross stitching or doing housework or whatever I'm doing, they'll be on. But when the new ones come out on Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays, I spend 2 hours each day working on this. Now, obviously on Halloween, I went trick-or-treating with the grandkids, so I didn't watch it, so I recorded it. But when I did watch it, this is what I worked on. I gotta hurry if I'm going to keep it at my time limit. So anyway, sorry, I am distracted. Santa's List by Country Cottage Needleworks. And this is where I'm at. I am so close. I think maybe 1.5 more movies, and I will be done with this. And I know how I'm going to finish it, so as soon as it's done, I'm going to work on getting it fully finished so it is ready for when I decorate for Christmas. Isn't that cute? And I'm using all of the called for DMCs. That's what I'm using. I mostly use DMC. I don't use overdyed floss very often because Shepherd's Bush is 2 hours away. So I can't justify running to Shepherd's Bush for a thing of overdyed floss. So I usually order it from 123 Stitch if I do, but I only order it if I have other stuff because I just can't justify paying $3 and some odd cents for shipping for a $2.50 skein of overdyed floss. So I usually most DMCs, unless I have it or it's something that I really want that variegated look, then I will order some overdyed floss. I'll put it in my cart, and then when I order a chart or whatever, I'll have them ship it with it. So this is my Hallmark Christmas movie stitch. When that one is done, I'm going to pick this one up, Bed Creek Winter Row. I'm about halfway done with this one. Sorry, I'm putting everything back in bags so it's easier to clean up when I'm done. And this is where I'm at on this one. This one, I had it all kitted up. And I woke up in like 2 o'clock in the morning and I could not go back to sleep. So I thought, well, I'm going to get up and just stitch something. I wanted something super easy to work on. So I thought, oh, I have this one kitted up. I'm going to stitch it. And so this is kind of my middle of the night when I can't sleep. Instead of tossing and turning in bed, I get up and I'll stitch a little bit on this. So once my Santa's List is done, I'm going to finish this. This will become my Hallmark Christmas movie stitch, and I'll finish that one up. And I think I know how I'm going to finish this one. But I want some winter stuff that I can put up at the 1st of December and leave up through all of winter. And then when this one is done, because this is super, super fast, my Hallmark Halloween stitch will be, or my Hallmark Christmas movie stitch will be this one. What is funny about this series is I thought, I'm not going to get this series. I have too much to stitch. I'm not going to get this series. And then I saw the sunflower ones. And I thought, the harvest, I think it's called harvest. I thought, oh, I'll get that one. And then I'll get the snowman one, because there's going to be a snowman one. And then I'll get one that I can use for spring. And then I'll get the one I can use for summer, the one that was from the Midwest Cross Stitch Retreat exclusive that will be released next year. I thought I'll only get those 4. Then the pumpkin one came out. And I'm like, oh, I have to have it. So I got it. I didn't stitch it. I am going to stitch it. Probably I'll work it into next year so I can have it ready for when I decorate for fall. And then this one came out and I'm like, oh, I gotta have this one too. So I'm gonna end up probably getting them all. It's funny because an Etsy shop that I order from quite frequently emailed me when these came out, and she says, do you want to be put on the auto ship list? And I'm like, no, because I'm not gonna buy them all. She's like, okay. I bought every one of them. I should have just had her put me on the auto ship list. Anyway, so this is going to be my Hallmark Christmas stitch when I get done with Winter Row. I don't know if I'll get it done and finish by Christmas, but maybe. You never know. Okay. 2 more things that I'm working on. These are things I'm kind of randomly working on. I had the... Okay, so let me just show you this. I've been stitching on the hands-on designs a year of celebrations. I have pretty much every one of them done except for I haven't done April, I haven't done May, and I haven't done August. And it was like the last week of October, and I'm like, I probably should get November's done so I can display it for November. And so I started working on November, which I will show you because it's a fully finished. And then I ran out of a floss color. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to go ahead and start on December's. Now, on all of these, I have not used any of her called for colors. I have changed every color on them. So, yeah, I've just pulled out colors. Some of her colors, she has quite a few listed. Some of them I only used 2 or 3 colors in instead of the 8 or 9 that she has listed. So I got November done and I ran out of color, so I decided I'm just going to start on December. So I started on December's. And I am just using like scrap pieces of fabric. This is where November was. So I could probably get at least 1 more on there. This is fabric that I had tea and coffee dyed, and these are just scraps from another project. And there's my December. I am using no call for colors on December. I decided to do mine all red, black, and white. So no call for colors. Anyway, so then I thought, well, I was thinking I should just finish December and then go back to November, and I thought no, because I bought the floss that I needed. And I thought, no, I need to get November's done so I can get it up because I still have a whole month. I can finish this up. So anyway, so there's December's. It will be done sometime this month, and then it will be fully finished. And one other thing that I have been working on lately, and this is one that I call it my car stitch. And because if I have to sit anywhere or I'm waiting on my husband in a car or whatever, this is what I pull out and stitch. And I'm working on, it's called The Rooster and the Hens by Little House Needleworks. This just barely came out, what, September, I think? And when it came out, I kitted it up. I did change some of the colors. Hers has more pinks in it, and I wanted more reds and blues. So I am changing some of the colors in it. And I'm not sure how I want to finish it, but this is where I'm at on it. Whoops, upside down. And it's just also a scrap of coffee tea dyed fabric. Oh heavens. There we go. It shouldn't be that hard to hold up, should it? And that's where I'm at. And the other day I did change, I think this border color was a different color. The red is definitely a different color. I don't know. I've just kind of, some of the colors I used are which are called for, others are not. But the other day I quit my job. I bought an embroidery machine and I bought a new car. What's wrong with that picture? But the other day I took my car in because it's still under warranty and it needed something fixed on it. In the, I don't know what it was, something with the Bluetooth. My phone would connect up with the Bluetooth. The people could call me and I could answer and I could hear them and they could hear me. But if I tried calling somebody, I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me. So it was something they just had to go in and reset something. Anyway, I sat up for about an hour or so, and in that hour I got all this white done. I think I got the roof done, this brown. This is the clothesline that holds the quilt, and I got this little girl done. So I got quite a bit done just sitting there. So who knows when I'll get this one finished. Like I said, it's my car stitch. If I'm sitting around in a doctor's office or whatever, this is always with me. So that's it. That is it for my whips that I've been working on. So let's get on to fully finishes. I want to keep this at 45 minutes. So fully finishes. Okay, so the first one I have to show you is this little pillow. It's called Brouhaha. This is a freebie on Plum Street's blog. You do have to kind of search for it, but it is there. And I had this, I printed out this a couple of years ago, and I thought, oh, that's really cute. That'd be a cute, easy, super finish. So I don't know if I used the call for colors. I think some of them they are, some of them I just randomly pulled out of my floss stash, made it into a little pillow. Don't look at the back because when I pulled it out so I could show you, when I finished it, I slid it to stuff it. I slid it in the back and stuffed it and then sewed it shut, and I was going to put a pumpkin over this. I never did put the pumpkin over it. I completely forgot about it, so that's something I'm going to have to do before I put it up. And then I just put a little bow and a little pumpkin. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby. Cut off a few sprigs off of a pick, and just a cute, simple finish. Love it. The other finish I have is from what's called Season of Celebrations or whatever, from Hands On Design. This is November. None of the call for floss. I've put them all up. I couldn't even tell you what I used. Right here, I did make a change because right here had pumpkin leaves. I thought they were shamrocks, and I thought, why is there shamrocks on this pattern for November? You know, why for November? And I was stitching it, and I thought, and I kept thinking these are shamrocks, and so I thought, okay, I'm just going to put another pumpkin up here because why would you have shamrocks on a November piece? So I was stitching this pumpkin and I started stitching these leaves, and I'm like, those up there were not shamrocks, they were pumpkin leaves, but they looked like shamrocks. So I like that I used a pumpkin instead. And I think her pumpkin was white and I did mine orange. I had started to stitch this in a brighter blue, like a brighter, I don't know what it was. It would be like a turquoise. And I decided it was too bright, and I had, I think, cleared the M done, and I decided I didn't like it, so I pulled it out and I used, this is probably 937, or not 937, 927 is going to be my guess. Just put it on a piece of mat board with fabric, and then I mounted this. There's some stuffing under, some batting, and then on mat board, put a ruffle around it, and just put a bow on the top. And this little tin thing, I found at Hobby Lobby, and that's just how I have finished all of them. They all go in this, and it just sits on my shelf. And the last thing I fully finished is, this is going to be big. I'm not going to be able to show it to you all at once. This is Winter ABCs by by Little House New Work. I used all of the called for DMC on it. This is 100% Priscilla's finish. I found the shutter. I was over at my daughter's one day, and she had this whole pile of shutters, different sizes of shutters. And I'm like, "What are you doing with all those?" And she's like, "They're going in the wood pile. We're gonna burn them in the fire pit this summer." And I'm like, "No, you're not. I want them." So I took all of them. I took every one of them. There was probably 8 pieces, and like I said, all different sizes, because I think she had originally got them for a project, and so some of them had been cut down, and this actually at the top has been cut off, so the shutter was actually longer, but you can't tell because of my little thing up here. But I brought these home, and my husband's like, "What in the heck are you going to do with all those?" I'm like, "I'll find something." Anyway, so I knew Priscilla had stitched this, so I went onto her blog and I found how she had finished it, and I thought, I have a shutter, I'm going to finish it just like hers. And she had this on hers. I found this at Hobby Lobby. It's in the doorknob section, in the drawer, I don't know what they're called, drawer pulls, doorknobs. So I got that because my kitchen living room where this hangs is in a farmhouse and chickens, and so it went perfect. So this is 100% finished like Priscilla does it, except for obviously I didn't have the same fabric, the same bow. And these I got at Walmart, I think. This was at Walmart. They have a section with little ornaments, and there's like 6 of them. So that's a little ornament I pulled off. I pulled the string off and just hot glued it on there, hot glued it on the bow. This is red buffalo plaid with snowflakes on it. I found it Joann's, I think last year, and I had bought a yard of it for intentions on using it for finishing, and it's perfect. Perfect. I love it. Love it. Okay, one other thing, and then I am out of here. Oops. This is held on by magnets, so I can change it out for the further seasons. Okay, the other thing is this is the very little haul I'm going to show you. Isn't he stinking adorable? These are the new patterns from Brenda Gervais with the needle and thread. I saw these and I ordered them immediately. There's this one and this one. And I also have the pumpkin one, the Boo to You. I bought it too. So I have all 3 of them. Aren't they stinking adorable? So I thought, I love it. And I love it on this fabric. And I thought, perfect. This is like completely, totally perfect winter. So I was going through my fabric stash. And look what I found. Yes. This buddy will be kitted up. And this will be in my starts real soon. I think it might be the first thing I stitch in January of 2020. Or I may stitch it in December. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Isn't that stinking adorable? Anyway, and then just kind of previewing fabric for this one. I was thinking maybe this fabric. I writ-tanned it a green color, and then I coffee and tea dyed it. And I might put him on that fabric. On this fabric, he's really washed out, his face is, but... And with him, I might break down and buy the overdyed floss for his coat. Who knows? Isn't he stinking adorable? Anyway, that's it. That's all I got for today. So, Reboot 101, or Reboot number 1. Hopefully people watch this. We will see. Sorry, it did go longer than I was intending it to. Like I said, I'm going to really, really try to keep my videos at 30 minutes. But I did have I need to explain some things of why I've been missing, and so I did have some life updates. I hope everybody has a happy November. I may or may not be back before Thanksgiving. I don't know, because I don't know how often I'm going to do these videos. I know I'm just going to do them. I'm not going to have a time schedule. Just when I feel like doing a video, I'm going to pop on here and do a video. And hopefully I won't have it won't be as long, so hopefully there won't be a whole lot to show. I mean, there's still going to be enough to show, but not so much that it's overwhelming. So if I don't see you before Thanksgiving, everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. If I do see you before Thanksgiving, great. So if you're just watching this for me for the first time, make sure you subscribe and like, and I would really appreciate that. Bye.